So before we start thinking about making, I'm going to show you some of the designs, and then just to get your ideas going in your own mind so you can make what you love. Spacemen and rockets and UFOs and aliens, and there's a dinosaur, and then there's also, you can do things like you can draw around your hand or your mummy or daddy's hand, or you can just draw a picture of your family if you want. So let's have a look what's inside our kit. So we have got, this is a pillowcase just like you've seen, so you can draw on that. We've also got a hoop. This is an embroidery hoop, and we've got some fabric so you can practice before you sew on your pillowcase, just to get comfortable with it, and also a needle. And then we have also got, this is a special pen, this is called Friction. And we have got some embroidery floss, embroidery thread in different colours. And then we have some sheets that you can use as templates so you can trace these. So it just makes it easier for you if you prefer to just trace something rather than draw your own. But you can draw your own designs and go get really adventurous if that's what feels good for you. So let's have a practice together on the hoop. I'm going to show you how to put the hoop on so that when you put it onto the pillowcase, you can do it easily. So you twist the top here, and as you twist, it becomes looser. The outside hoop becomes looser, and then it just slides off, like so. So you put the hoop without the metal on it down first, then you put your fabric, and then you push this on, and you want it to feel, the fabric to feel like a drum. You know when you tap a drum, it's kind of got that nice sort of bouncy, firm feeling, but not like a rock. It's got some movement. Lovely. And you will also need some scissors, but because this is a children's kit, it needs to be that the adults manage the scissors, so just so you know that, but you will need scissors. Okay, so let us take our needle out. So first of all, we're going to draw on the fabric. So I'm going to do a flower, just so it's easy. There we go. But you can do anything you like. But when you're drawing, if you have really simple lines like this, it's much easier to sew. If you get really complicated and detailed, it's much more difficult to sew. Okay, so now we need to choose our colour of thread. I think I'm going to do a red flower. So take my red, and can you see those 6 tiny threads? So we want to keep them all together, and we hold it, and we hold the end next to the barcode or the number, the longer label, and then you hold very gently like this so it doesn't fly away, and we pull 1, 2 and a half, and then we cut like that. Now we're going to thread our needle. So if you need help with this, ask an adult. Can you see that hole in the needle? That's called the eye of the needle. It looks a little bit like an eye. I'm not sure if that's why it's called the eye, but it would make sense. And then you want to push all your threads through the eye of the needle and then pull through. That's it. And then we're going to have one long string and one short that's halfway down. So the long tail we're going to knot. There are lots of ways to do this, but I'm going to show you how you do it with when you knot like shoelaces, because I think you'll be used to that. So you make a loop like that, and then you put that tail through the back of that loop and bring it to the front. And if you want a big knot, you can do that again, so it's gone through twice. Can you see that, or am I getting in the way? Can you see it's through twice? So you get a bigger knot if you put the tail through the loop twice. And then you can cut off the extra long bit, about 1/2 centimetre tail, that's all you need. So when we stitch, the water, if we imagine that the fabric is like the water that we're going, and the dolphin is the needle and thread going through the water. So we start from under the water with a knot here, then we go up out of the water, and then we go back down into the water again, and back up out of the water. Try and keep that picture in your mind when we get the fabric. So we take our needle and thread, which is the dolphin. So remember, this is like the water. So we want to start under the water. And then we come up out of the water. Then we go back into the water, but we go along the lines as we're doing this. Under the water. Now we're going to come up again out of the water, but we follow along the line. And then we go back down the water. And then back up. And a good question is, how do I know where to come up if I can't see? Can you see I'm pushing the needle along the fabric underneath? Can you see that? That helps me to find the right spot, and then I'll push up there. And pull through. And go back down. So I'm going to go to the end of this petal, and then I'm going to show you how to finish a thread on the back, because if you just leave the thread when you finished and you just cut it, it's all going to fall out. And my stitches are about 1/2 centimetre long or less, or 4 millimeters long. So now I'm going to stop here. So I go down under the water like that. So we want to make a little knot before we cut this thread. So we put the needle under one of the little stitches and pull it through. Then we do that again. But this time we're going to wrap the tail around and again around. Then we hold that with our thumb and pull through. And as we pull through, can you see it's making a little knot? So we've got our little knot. Can you see that knot there? Just made. Now I'm going to cut that thread. Lovely. So now if we want to do a different colour petal, what we do is we take our different colour, threaded in our needle, exactly the same as we did with the red, and we start which side of the water? You remember? Under the water, the dolphin comes up. And we've got the knot, let me show you. So on the end of the thread, we've got that little knot. Dolphin comes up. Oops, he got tangled. Let me show you how to get untangled, because tangles often happen. So there's my little tangle. Can you see it? It's almost made a little knot. It's got twisted. So the best thing to do is not pull tighter, but let it loose. So you put your needle in and like wiggle it a bit. Can you see it's coming out? Great. So if you get a knot, don't keep pulling, but let it gently let it out. So let's see if that's worked. Yes, so now we can carry on sewing. So here we go. So we go under the water, down into the water, back up. You can see I'm doing it slightly differently now. Go under the fabric and then back out. You see it's a bit knotty there? It's got a bit squiggly, so all we do is we lift it with our needle, give it a wiggle, loosen it, there we go, now it's happy. It'll go back under. If you prefer, like, you remember how we did it with the red petal? We went down and then back up again. You can do it that way or you can do it this way. You can try both and see which one feels good for you. And now, because we've come to the end of the petal, we're going to go down into the water under the fabric, go all the way down, turn it over, and we're going to tie a little knot again because we're finishing our colour. So we put our needle through the last stitch, we pull it so it's really neat like that, then we put the needle back through again, and now we're going to give it 2 twists, 1, 2 twists. I'm going to hold that in place and pull the thread through. Look at that, a little knot. Lovely. So now we're going to cut again, 1/2 centimetre of thread left. Look at that, we've done another petal. So when you get confident doing changing colours of threads, you'll be fine. You can sew anything after that. So just practice, and don't worry if you get in a tangle, it doesn't matter. This is a practice. And then I'm going to show you now how to do the pillowcase. So this is what we're going to need now to stitch on the pillowcase. So we're going to open up our pillowcase, and I'm going to show you where's the best place to start stitching. So when you open it, you will see that there is one edge that has the hole where the pillow goes inside, and it has a flap on one side and it has a small edge on the other. This side is the one we want to draw on, so this side. So when you see this small flap, that's what you want. You don't want this one that goes like a little extra piece of fabric there. This is the one we want. And your pillowcase will have a crease marked down the center where it's been folded. So that is where your head's going to be, in the center of your pillow. So just think about that. When you're drawing your designs, you can draw, maybe start around the edges, almost like you've got a little rainbow of pictures all around your head. Wouldn't that be lovely? It's going to be lovely. So let's do some pictures. So I'm just going to move my threads out of the way and my hoop, and I'm going to get, you can draw your own pictures, you don't need these templates, but this is just in case you're feeling really tired and you just want something easy to draw around, and then you've got an adult who can help you sew, so it's no stress for you. So you choose your design that you want, if you want to do the tracing, or you just draw straight onto the fabric. And then you put this under the fabric, but you want to put it in between the two, into the pillowcase as though it was the pillow. And then you decide where are you going to put it. So I think I'm going to put, I think I might do the rabbit. It's pretty cute. I'm going to draw around my rabbit. So you had that friction pen in your kit. That's what we're going to use. So you just take your friction pen and trace around the picture. It's wonky or wobbly, it's fine. And I'm going to do a little triangle nose. Two little eyes, and then the ears. There we go. He looks like he needs to be wearing glasses, doesn't he? I should put like turn that into glasses, maybe later. So we take our card out, and now we're going to put our hoop onto our picture. So we take the side with the metal on it, that's going to go on the top, and the side without the metal goes underneath. So you slide that inside the pillowcase, inside, not underneath the two pieces. We only want one piece of fabric, and we put the rabbit in the middle of that circle, and then we take our metal hoop and we want it to be like a drum, so kind of push it firmly. That's good. And then we tighten. Ask an adult to help you tighten because it can be a bit fiddly. And then the stitching, I would get some help from an adult as well, because sometimes we can get in a bit of a tangle when we get started. It's also good to do your first designs really near where you're the edge of this pillow, because that's the easiest place. So then put this into a comfortable position for you. I'm going to do a knot. Do you remember how we did the knot? Actually, come a bit closer. Is that a bit better? Can you see better? Okay, so we're going to do a loop like that, like you do with your shoelaces. And then we're going to put the tail through the loop, and we're going to put it through again, so we get a nice big knot. And then we're going to pull gently, and there we go. We've got a nice knot. Look at that. Get the scissors. Get an adult to help you with the scissors. Oops. Now, when we start sewing, we're always where the dolphin is, which is under the water. So we're going to do the ears first. Actually, I'm going to do that side of the ear. So we push up. Do you remember how we did it? We poke the needle across the fabric till we find the place where we need it to come up. And then we're going to go in and out. You can just do one stitch at a time. I'm doing a couple here. It's quite tough to pull through. And then I'm just going to do one this time. Look at that. Got green ears. What's your favourite bunny story? I think mine is the one I can't remember. Is it Love You to the Moon and Back? Bunny My Honey I like. And of course Peter Rabbit I like. I don't know what this bunny's called. Look at this, we're sewing the real thing. And it's nice actually if you can just do one little thing on the edge first and then sew it. And if you want to do anything else, you can draw it on. If you don't want to do anything else, it will be lovely just as it is. But it's nice to write your name, and it's nice to draw pictures of family, or maybe your pet, or maybe something you love, like what's the thing you love to do? Do you like horses, or do you like trains or football? Whatever you love to do. Okay, so now I'm jumping ahead, I didn't tell you. So now I'm going under the water, under the fabric, because we are going to tie a knot. So same way we turn this over, but it's a bit fiddly because you go kind of inside the pillowcase. And then we're going to do the knot exactly the same as we did before. Going to pull that through. And then we're going to wrap the thread around twice. 1, 2. And then hold that down gently and then pull this through. And there we have our little knot. Look at that. We are motoring. There we go. Super. Look at that. He's going to be cute. Right, I'm going to keep on sewing. But I think you know how to do this now. So get your kit out and decide on the picture you want. Have a practice on the little piece of fabric that you've got, the extra piece of fabric. See how you get on with stitching. Get some help, ask an adult, and really enjoy it. And don't worry if things don't look perfect. Don't worry if they're wonky or wobbly or they're knotty and they get tangled. It's all okay. It's all going to look lovely in the end. Right, enjoy your stitching. I'm going to show you some of the designs, and then just to get your ideas going in your own mind so you can make what you love. So I've written the name here, and then a heart, and rainbows are lovely. There's a little template inside the kit so you can do this butterfly and these hearts. And then also if you want to do something there, things like a spaceman and rockets and UFOs and aliens. And there's a dinosaur. And then there's also, you can do things like you can draw around your hand, or your mummy or daddy's hand, or you can just draw a picture of your family if you want. And when you look at the pillowcase, the good thing to remember is in the middle of the pillowcase, right here, is where your head's going to be when you sleep on the pillowcase. But do the bit on the outside first and then see how you go.